oh, you suddenly click and start reading. You say, oh, that's interesting, I follow. You're not contacting. Then you need the next and the third and the fifth, and usually takes 11 contact points until you say, okay, I read so much about that, now I'm contacting them.
And this with making people contact you, I'm a lazy guy. I'm an extreme lazy guy, and I actually started sales of 5 companies from zero, and I think I learned a few things. And dear listener, why you should do marketing is to get people to contact you. And why is that? Well, if you compare the two methods, you can do cold calls, 100 knocks, 1 thank you. And if you do marketing, you get people that contacts you. That means that you already have filtered out the interesting ones. They're that interested, so they're curious about you and your product, so they actually call you. And that is the key with marketing. Hello and welcome back to the Goldcasting podcast. Today we are thrilled because today we are going to present the new community for marketing and sales and the development of marketing and sales inside the die-casting industry. And we normally have people that we're interviewing. Today we're also, same thing, interviewing the guy behind it and running it, Fabian Niklas. Welcome, Fabian Niklas.
Hi, it feels like home to me being here.
That's so great. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Well, too much to do, too little paid. But if I complain, I'm a middle-aged white guy who will actually listen. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is the premiere of discussing this accelerator. And it contains a few things that I think will be very, very interesting. So stay tuned while we let Mr. Niklas describe this in more detail for you. So you know that this is a ship you want to jump onto for the future. But I would like to start, why are you doing this, Fabian?
The easy answer is because we need to go the extra mile. And the detailed explanation I will give you with an example. Because I want to compare the whole high-pressure die-casting foundry industry to a guy called Steve Zetterström. You probably never heard of him. And the same is true for high-pressure die-casting outside our normal bubble. If you go to other industries, they have no clue what high-pressure die-casting is, in the same way you have no clue who Steve is. But like the high-pressure die-casting foundry industry, Steve has a massive impact on your life. Like we do with our products, Steve invented the first digital camera.
Oh.
Yeah, quite an important invention.
I think I've taken a couple of pictures with my cell phone.
Oh yeah, he was one of the R&D engineers at Kodak, the film company. And they were the first one to invent it. They filed all the patents and were going bankrupt as soon as the digital age came along.
And I had a solution in the drawer.
They had the solution in the drawer. They had decades of advantages, but they never commercialized on it.
How come?
The cool thing is, we don't need to guess why that was happening. It's not because the management was stupid or they didn't see the trends. There's a YouTube video, which we'll link above, from Steve Zetterström, who personally explains what was happening in that time. Because he's an electrical engineer, was developing the camera, and it was handheld for that, big camera, but still you can hold it in your hand and you could take pictures with it. And he was explaining all the details, how the technology works, how they interference, all the lights coming in, how they make the program that it saves it, and how they can look at it. But then when he was presenting to the board, he never thought about what to do with it, how to market that. So he tells that he never thought about what to do with the pictures then besides storing it or sending it away to develop them. He just thought, I don't know, I never heard about photo books or anything else that's now a valid business model, but he hasn't thought about that. So the invention got, nice thing, but our main focus is the films for the analog cameras, and we're the best and biggest in that. That thing seems like a threat to our own business, we shelve it. And I think our industry has the same problem, that we have great solutions, have product that can impact everybody's lives, but they are lying on a shelf where no one else can see it.
So what you're trying to say is that he made a brilliant invention, but his surrounding didn't understand how it actually fit to the puzzle of the world's development around him.
Exactly, and also he couldn't explain how it can impact that. So it's a two-way street that never meets. And that's something where I also see it now with the automotive industry in a decline in volume. Where can you fill your capacity? You need to reach out to other industries and show them how amazing high-pressure die casting is for their solutions. But if you're not communicating on the same level as a business case in a language that you can easily pick up, then you have an issue. And the foundry industry needs to go the extra mile.
But you speak pretty much about content all the time. What do you mean with content?
So content is anything you put up on the internet for other people to read, to view, to listen to. So these are blog posts, articles, white papers, videos, everything that's out there, and their intention is to bring people towards your company, your products.
But then I can ask some of these AI generators, and then they can generate a massive, nice campaign for me, push out on LinkedIn, and then I get a lot of customers, right?
Yeah, if you're selling standard products, but if you look in the AI, that's something where will come up later anyway, is that they have no clue about high-pressure die casting. They give you some really bullshit answers where a lot of mistakes are making because there's not enough content. And so it started to hallucinate, and that's what you don't want to have. That you bring in wrong information, and you see that for many foundries that say, okay, we have to do something besides posting our job listings. And then you see, let's let HR do it, and they do exactly that. And then you see it, wrong content, not targeted. You see all these emojis that have no presence in the industry. And yeah, you see it's a one-to-one copy, and it really harms you. So content is not everything you put out. And especially in the time on AI, it's really important to stand out, to have that personal touch.
So you are creating a community for people interested in marketing of die casting. So you're starting a community that is free of charge for people interested in marketing in the die casting industry, in order to help them and support them and give them food for thought to create content and how to do the marketing in an effective way. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. So that's a community for everyone in the foundry industry who wants to do marketing in order for business development, in order for employer branding, to bringing the next generation of people into our industry, or they want to market their foundry, their company. They want to show what their solution can bring, or they want to build a personal brand. If you're in that sphere and working in the foundry industry, send me a message, and then we meet bi-weekly. And that meeting is not that we write things together. It's more like we share our experience. We do act like accountability partners, because the terrible thing about content is that one piece of content is not enough, because all these platforms that put your things out, if you put it on your website, this hasn't been updated since the 1990s, just in a nicer form, that won't help you. You need to put it on the platform where the people are.
So bi-weekly, what you actually are aiming for is like a constant, ever-developing workshop about marketing.
Exactly. Because as I just tried to explain, that you need to be consistent with your uploads. The platforms highly prioritize uploaders that are constant uploaders because they want to keep the platform interesting. And the only way to get better, find your style, and get the reach is by being continuously uploading.
But then I have a question. I mean, normally if you put a bunch of die casters in a room and start to talk about things that actually matters for them, everybody goes silent. How are you going to stay away from a situation where everybody's, 5-10 guys are joining, everybody's looking at you and say, okay, let's talk, please talk. Because we're not going to say anything.
Yep, that's the cool thing, because most engineers, they want to have it very strict and straight, and it has to be like that. The plan was set to do that, and then you have the perfect planning, and then you start executing and you see, oh, all these things are different, but we follow the plan. And for that, one of the criteria to join is basically to have already started. So send me also the link to your first content, or send me a short text why you want to start and just need to push.
So you can actually join and sit there and be silent and listen and get some food for thought. That is what you're saying. Yeah.
That's a bit of this accountability buddy system, that if you're joining and you never contribute, but you really want to, sometimes it will say, okay, now I put out my first piece of content, and then in the next meeting, let's share it, what you posted, and then get the feedback, get the help to make the next one even better. Because let's face it, your first 30 posts won't be good.
I would say my first 200 were pretty stinky and bad.
Yeah. But then it comes, what's the consistency in them? Do you have a weekly? So 30 posts, it's a bit more than half a year it takes you to get better. Do you do once a month? And then you're nearly 3 years busy getting better.
But then I mean, where is the catch? You have something for free, you get food for thought, it's an ongoing workshop, it's brilliant. Will I be contacted by a lot of other sales guys and that kind of bullshit if I join this? Or is this a closed, safe room where no one else is trying to sell something on me?
No, that's really important. That's a safe space, closed space. That's just us in the Foundry industry. There are no marketing agencies or whatever allowed, because we want to do it ourselves, help ourselves and get out of that, because who else knows about die casting than ourselves? And now we're just learning a new skill together and perfecting it and sharing the experiences so everybody can profit and the whole industry gets better. So basically it's a small service from me to the whole Foundry industry. Because I think it's really needed that we put out more interesting content to generate new business and to bring the next generation that really likes what we're doing, because the hyper die casting Foundry industry is a cool place to work.
Here. Okay, pretty wordy from a German. So I challenge you a little bit. Could you make some short points what to expect from a typical meeting here? What are the agenda points?
The agenda point is usually, when you join freshly, a quick introduction, and then it basically goes directly into the content. We just go round and round, show what you posted last time, what were the reactions, collect the feedback from everybody else, and also then start to strategize for different platforms, help you to find a content plan or find topics, find partners that have the same interests, and maybe you can do a campaign together, merge audiences with your partners delivering, for example, the tools to you, and you're just around the corner. Find alliances and especially help the whole industry to be present, because we have the perfect chance. A few years ago, Elon Musk built up the gigacasting process, and it was the first time that hyper die casting was in the public eye. And we can profit off that and make it a thing that, hey, there is more than just Tesla. We are company XYZ. We are located in that beautiful valley, and we're doing the same or even more complex casting. Take a look here what we do, and we show it to you.
So part of something bigger. Now, there's one thing I think you have to explain a little bit. You're talking about content. You're not talking about mass communication. I mean, there are 2-3 million people that are actually working with die castings in different shapes, designers, producers, and all that. What do you mean with content and not mass communication?
So mass communication is usually, oh, we have a press release, and then we upload the PDF to LinkedIn, and then we communicated our latest news. And then you get 10 readers in the best case, and 9 of them accidentally clicked on the link. That's not the mass communication that works on social media. That's the mass communication you have to do because of legal reasons, but that's not the one that resonates. And also when you look at social media marketing, you're thinking about influencers with millions of views for each post, but that's not what you're going for. You don't need to sell 25 t-shirts to 1 million people. You want to reach the 7 right people and bring them into the industry and sell them your solutions to them. So it's a total different. You're not talking to everyone and try to find who gets hit. Now you're targeting your perfect customers. And then you don't want to have the 1 million views. You just need a few 100, a few thousand views, but from the right people. And that's really a muscle you need to train.
You're speaking about messages with content that resonates. What do you mean with resonates?
With resonate, I mean that the content you're reading, you like to read. For example, if you get a piece of content that is today, it's about the new tool, we get that delivered. Okay, interesting, scroll by. Then the next day is like, for example, you work in electronics and you're posting now, hey, we have a new concept to make heat sinks more efficient. Oh, you suddenly click and start reading. You say, oh, that's interesting, I follow. You're not contacting. Then you need the next and the third and the fifth, and usually takes 11 contact points until you say, okay, I read so much about that, now I'm contacting them.
And this with making people contact you, I'm a lazy guy. I'm an extreme lazy guy, and I actually started sales of 5 companies from zero, and I think I learned a few things. And dear listener, why you should do marketing is to get people to contact you. And why is that? Well, if you compare the two methods, you can do cold calls, 100 knocks, 1 thank you. And if you do marketing, you get people that contacts you. That means that you already have filtered out the interesting ones. They're that interested, so they're curious about you and your product, so they actually call you. And that is the key with marketing. Not to build that super fancy brand and all these things. That comes along, because brand is something else. But when people contact you, they are already qualified themselves. They have been reading up. They have looked at your webpage. They are halfway educated, so you can go directly to the point. This is my product. How can I service you, dear sir? That is marketing.
You just have to answer the few personalized questions. And then the next step for the second meeting is you discuss the offer you send to these people, because they are already familiar with you. They trust you because they read all your content. And the second thing is, with your content, we talked earlier about AI can flood the social media posts for days with just one simple prompt. What they're also doing is that the search, how we search is different. Of course, we still use Google and similar search engines, but now many people, if you have specialized questions, they ask their ChatGPT, Perplexity, or whatever the AI is called. And they research, find different pieces of content. And let me tell you, your company homepage is not the place an AI will check up. If you ask something, I'm looking for Foundry in that region, then they will look up where the other foundries and then see what the capabilities is. But if you're discussing general terms, these AIs to 80% just reference white papers that are listed on peer-reviewed sites and blog articles from reputable websites. So if you don't have a blog on your website, you're not picked up by the AI and you're not brought in front of your interested people. And the one coming from an AI to your website is 6 to 10 times more valuable and more likely to contact you than a Google search result. So it's highly important to be listed on these AI tools.
So what you're saying, there's information and there's information. But another thing that I kind of like to refer to is uniqueness. I think one of my key tools in my toolbox is search for the uniqueness that you have, because around that you spin a lot of these content or contents that you would like to send out there. What is your take on uniqueness, and how is this accelerator going to help you to find your uniqueness?
Exactly, that's what you said. If being unique, you stand out, and that's what you want to do. If you're just one piece of a big gray blob, who cares which one you pick? But if you're standing out because you have a unique angle, you do things a certain way, and you don't need to invent the uniqueness, you just have to describe why you do the things you do in a way that you do them. And that's oftentimes unique enough. And then be consistent in transmitting that. Show the benefits, not the features. Show the benefits for the customer. So also switch the perspective. They don't want to hear about the results and 2-3 blatant tool differentiatings. No, they want to hear, how do I get the perfect product from you? Same discussion point, but different viewpoint on the same thing. And you have to see through the eyes of the other guy and put that online. That's something that really needs training. And that's what the accelerator does. is the training ground for your marketing muscle.
Just like a gym.
Yep.
Bring your
Typewriter
towel.
gym.
Bring your towel. That's an important tool, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. And I think if you're interested in doing that, just join. It's a free program. If you don't like it, leave it. If you enjoy it, you never know what comes out of it. And that's the beauty of marketing, because I just saw it now. I started a reocasting course, and I contacted a few people like these cold calls or hot leads that I say, we talked about reocasting, don't you want to join? And I had a below 1% return on these.
Oh.
But then, yeah, sent a lot of messages, and not many people really signed up at the end. But I had people from all around the world I never heard about filling out the form. So here, I pay you 500 Swiss francs for the course. Sign me up. And that was the amazing thing to see. Wow, really, what I was doing all the time, that really works. It brings in the people and generates such a curiosity and interest to say, hey, what he's talking about all the time. I want to learn more. I join them in a course.
So here comes some yes and no questions then. Yeah, I joined this community. I go to my bi-weeklies for a couple of months. Will I learn to communicate on social media?
Yes.
Will I learn how to generate leads from posts in social media?
Yes.
Good.
But I like to add one thing, is that you actually have to post and do it. It's not a theoretical course. The whole thing lives from exchange. So if you're not contributing, then you're not getting anything out of it.
Will I learn how to find an audience that is tailor-made for my product?
You will figure that out by yourself, yes.
Will I learn to engage with an audience?
Oh, yes.
Can I discuss strategies to be consistent with various social media platforms?
Yes, there will be a lot of sharing about different social media platforms, especially for different angles. Like business development has different platforms than employer branding. Different strategies, different types of content that work. So that's something we need to discuss, share experiences, and you learn from that.
I have a little bit of an angle on this. I don't know if you have thought about this, but you know, I'm a sleazy sales guy from Sweden, and sometimes you are very self-oriented in that role. I mean, if you look in our industry, the level of marketing and some other skills that you can see, if you go on this, you can see it like your personal branding is a key thing here. You learn certain skills that maybe is not that, how should I put it? Often you find them in the die casting industry. So all of a sudden, your personal brand is actually going up, participating in this. I mean, who knows in the future where you will be working 5-10 years from now. So, I mean, that is also a thing. Of course, we should service our employer. We should be loyal to our employer as long as they are our employer. But I mean, life could easily contain 3, 4, 5 different employers before retirement. So,
also, you never know where life leads you, but everything you have in skills follows you. That's something you don't leave anywhere. And especially within a technical industry, making simple explanations that can be digested within a fraction of a second, that's a hard skill to learn. And that's something where not many people can do that write content that's interesting, that's engaging, and reaches a larger audience that is relevant to your product and to your business. Because you don't want to put out content that is redundant. If you black out which company is it from, and you can place it on every company, then it's not a good content. It is content, but not good one, and it's replaceable. And that's what you brought up earlier, that uniqueness, that if you read it through, and then you automatically know, oh, that's company XYZ, or that's the guy from that company. And that's what you want to have.
Again, uniqueness, the identity, a clear brand. That is difficult. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah, you never finish with that. I think we can also got what we are doing with the podcast. It's also something, an idea which started after a few beers. And now that's episode 55. And we thought, oh, when we have 100 viewers on the podcast, we made it. Yeah, we're now past 160,000 viewers just on YouTube. So you never know where it leads to.
That's true. That's true. And it's great fun also. Summarizing, what is this Marketing Accelerator in few words?
The Marketing Accelerator is a group of like-minded people within the foundry industry that want to go the extra mile and push our industry into the public eye, into business development, into employer branding, and make it a future for the next generation and secure a lot of business along the way on the new social media channels.
So you can say this is a food for thought, constant ongoing workshop for free without any commercial stuff, so no one is going to sell something on you. Correct?
Correct. It's just a community, come together, share the experience, and then learn from each other and make the whole industry a more visible piece of the whole puzzle.
If you want to speak about something, contact Fabian Niklas and say, this is something I think more people are interested in this community. I mean, the content of the content is always something you can adjust and think about and suggest and all that.
Also, with the content and the consistency is that after a while you need to repeat things, give them a different viewpoint, and what you learned along the way, bring that in, because just because you developed a following, but the last follower doesn't know what you have posted a year ago. So you have to bring it back, give it a different spin, a different angle, and that really brings it back. And so it's a constant flywheel that is going your way.
Very, very interesting. So again, I mean, what do I have to lose?
Try it and see what comes out of it. And especially when you try it, actively contribute, because it lives from the shared experience and not from silently sitting in a meeting and checking emails.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're ending this episode very soon. There's so much more content in the Marketing Accelerator. You had a chance to build your personal brand, your company brand, and to really, really get some food for thought for creating your uniqueness, your content, your message, and get a free support. So it's a free lottery ticket. Sign up, evaluate, give the feedback, be there or drop out. It's up to you. This is not a tattoo.
And especially, it's nothing that has a strict format. That's something that lives with everybody bringing in input. So what I'm describing now can be totally outdated in a year from now when we see what we actually need to bring the industry forward. So that's a living organism. You just have to feed it with our experience, content, and discussion points.
Exactly. Because if anybody can predict the future, please call me. I'm very interested to know about the stock market a year from now.
Oh yeah, and also would like to learn lotto numbers. I think that's a quicker way.
Lotto numbers, yeah. And who wins championship? That's football, I think.
Yeah. Please let us know that, then we can gamble and do more free stuff.
But if you don't want to rely on that lottery ticket, join this accelerator, learn something, become even more professional and more important, and have more fun on your workplace. Because end of the day, money is one thing, but having fun is another thing. Far more important.
Yeah, but Staffan, I think you are the best guy to describe what generating content does for your life. You're a white, middle-aged guy sitting here on a podcast on YouTube. How did making that podcast and creating all that content change your perspective on work and the foundry industry?
Yeah, first of all, I met so many interesting people. The people that we have been interviewing, and some of them I regard as friends, because you meet them all the time in trade fairs and other technical discussions or whatever. This is great. Second thing is that it's challenging me all the time. Trying to think how to create a new perspective, how to try to rephrase things. Because we all know it. People listen and understand things differently. Some people listen, some people need to see a picture, some people need to hear a storytelling from a friend, etc., etc. And thinking in those ways challenging me all the time. And I think this sounds stupid, but I think it keeps my mind young and creative. If I would do this, without any influx from anybody, I will be standing with that brochure every 24 months at the Eurogas and complaining that we don't have any new parts to show. That is the thing, And that working with you there, Fabian, that's a thrill,
Yeah. So you have the Marketing Accelerator now for nearly 2 years, or now more than 2 years.
More than 2 years.
And
yeah.
you see what you can get out of it. A new perspective, new interest, and really fun while working. And that's what I'm trying to facilitate, to find a platform to really do it for the whole industry, and that we can just start becoming better each day and having more fun what we do. And that transforms into new business, into the next generation. So hit me up, send me a message, and then I'll send you the Teams link, and then we can start.
Here, invest a few hours of your life. Then check if it's worth it, move along. If it's not, step out. I saw a drill instructor from US Marines. He told his recruits, either you die a little bit every day or you develop a little bit every day. You choose.
What an ending. Then I can just say, subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the next episodes. And then we hear us then in the next podcast episode. See you.
See you.
Bye.
Sayonara. Hej då.